Hello, welcome back to my witch obsession. And in today's video, we will be doing an ASMR tarot pick-a-card reading for Gemini season. So this video could be finding you during Gemini season of 2025, which is the intention I'm setting this video out with. But if it finds you any other time, energy is timeless, so whenever this video has found you, it could be the time where you most need the messages. Before anything, I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to these other channels that have inspired me to do my reading like this. So I wanted to talk about, or just shout out Mauve ASMR, Michelle's Whispers ASMR, and Eddie ASMR. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about them, but they sort of make these ASMR tarot readings, and it is so nice, and I love the laid back vibes of the rug. I just think it's so aesthetically pleasing, and they are pretty much why I'm making today's video, so go check them out. If you like this video at all, you're gonna love the stuff they produce. It's art. But anyways, so I tried to pick 3 decks that are more funky by nature, because I feel like that's so Gemini, you know? So we have pile 1 with the Rainbow Heart Tarot, pile 2 with the Green Menagerie Tarot, I think that's how you pronounce it, and pile 3 with the Pastel Journey Tarot. So you can pick whichever one you think is the prettiest, whichever one calls most to you. Timestamps will be in the description box below. And if you would like a personal reading, you may contact me via email or Etsy, link down below. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you at your reading. If you'd like to stick around, I will be lighting a candle real quick, and I will be just rambling as I do it real quick. So I have this candle, it's called Sun Drenched Linen, and I have been loving it. And it smells like laundry, as you would imagine. And then I have a mini little candle here just for aesthetic purposes. This is not sponsored. Hopefully it doesn't pop. I know you're supposed to trim wicks. I did not do that. Oh, there it goes, popping. I'll put this one over here. So yeah, I'll see you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the Rainbow Heart Tarot, this will be your reading for Gemini season. So I'm just going to start immediately shuffling in and just pull a few cards for you and see what comes out. So I might not be able to show all the cards because this deck does depict certain imagery that YouTube would not approve of. So just a little heads up. Cards for group 1 for Gemini season. I'm going to shuffle it 5 times because 5's my lucky number. Okay, for you we have the 10 of Wands. We cannot show this card. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Hierophant, and we have the Ace of Wands. Pardon the asymmetry, I know it's driving me a little crazy too. And then on the bottom of the deck we have the King of Wands. what I find most interesting is that we have the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Wands, which makes me feel like you are seeing something at the beginning of Gemini season, and then you will see it progressively become something more as it progresses. And with the King of Pentacles and Wands, it could be a new money-making idea or scheme. Scheme makes it sound like a negative word, but that's not what I mean. And with the Hierophant, this could be related to structure and foundation. And I feel like that's kind of the goal of, or the energy, where maybe a lot of you are going into this season feeling a lack of structure in your life in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you're going to bed at inconsistent times. Maybe you find yourself eating at inconsistent times, eating nothing consistently. And it could be a lot more abstract than that. It could be that maybe you are seeing people at different times, or maybe you're having trouble with developing schedules with seeing people. It could also be something about your hobbies and how much you enjoy yourself. And I feel like all of this kind of contributes to a lack of structure in your life, and also maybe feeling like it's very difficult to organize. It makes me think of when you pack for your luggage for a trip, and you can fit a lot more into your luggage if you neatly fold everything together and put it in. Whereas if you just toss all your clothes into a luggage, it's not going to fit, and it won't be as prolific than if you were to be more organized about it. And I feel like that's maybe what you feel like your life is right now, when you're seeing this, to where you might feel like there is a lot of disorder or a lot of hectic or like sporadic energy. And this could be translating in other ways too, where there's a lack of discipline, in the sense that it's hard for you to begin a project. It's hard for you to do things that you want to do, even when you feel like doing it, because you just feel like there's other things that demand your attention and energy in that moment. And because of that, it's probably been causing you a lot of stress with the Ten of Wands, a lot of burden. But I kind of feel like it's more so that during Gemini season, you'll become a lot more intelligent when it comes to managing your resources and energy, which will inspire you. And I feel like it will be a really nice thing for you. Like, I feel like, because we have two kings here, all this masculine energy, I feel like a lot of you are taking action, or some of you are trying to see something through, and you're trying to maximize your potential. And if that's not the case, I feel like it is a call for you to do such a thing, because with the Ace of Wands, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities coming to you. It could be in the form of a divine masculine energy giving you an offering. It could be related to work. The Hierophant can sometimes deal with marriage, so that might be significant for some of you. But obviously, take what resonates. And with the Ace of Wands and Ten of Wands, I feel like aside from what I was just talking about, it makes me think of starting something and then you see it, like you're planting a tree at the beginning of Gemini season and watching it grow. You know, you're planting as a sapling in the beginning, and then you're watching it grow into a full-blown tree. So with that being said, this season might feel very fast-paced for you, or you might kind of just feel like there's a lot going on, or you're kind of just absolutely in the thick of it. And the message and the advice that I feel called to tell you is work in advance, and preparation will do you absolute wonders. Absolute wonders. It makes me think of things like meal prepping, doing things, you know, anything that can save you a few seconds and a little bit of a mess and cleanup will do so much good for you. And that's more in the practical sense, because we have the King of Pentacles here, and I think it's interesting that I laid them out like this with the King of Pentacles on top of the Ten of Wands. It makes me think that there is a burden in the material realm or the physical reality, because that's what the Pentacles deals with. I also feel like some of you could be trying to work on your value system and what's important to you, and essentially I feel like there's a lot of things going on with prioritization. Anyways, let's pull some more cards. We also have Eight of Pentacles. I like this card a lot. Three of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, lovely card, lovely card. I forgot how much I love this deck. And we also have the Three of Wands. I swear, every time I read tarot, my nose gets runny. But it definitely goes to show that with the two kings here, some of you could literally be in some sort of an arrangement where you're working with two other masculine energies and you're making some sort of progress, and it could be related to work. This particular picture, this person is creating, so maybe some of you are trying to run a business, start a business, or maybe you're trying to invest into your work in some way, shape, or form. I also feel like that the Ten of Cups, a lot of you could be finding emotional fulfillment within some kind of foundation or structure with other people in it. It makes me think of joining or finding a new friend group, meeting new coworkers. It makes me think of, you know, first day of school vibes or first day on the job kind of vibes where you're a little bit intimidated by people, but as you kind of work into it, you get to know them and you get to know their personality, and you're like, wow, I think I'm gonna really like it here. Especially with the Three of Wands, I feel like a ship could definitely be sailing where you're noticing that you're making some kind of meaningful progress in your life, and you're kind of seeing, and I feel like this is because you're able to dedicate your energy to something else. Like, I feel like during this season, there's something or someone that's coming through that will be assisting you and trying to not do something, or like trying to take a task off of your hands. It makes me think of like getting like a housemaid, or friends just doing favors for you, a coworker taking your shifts, but it could be a lot more monumental than that and a lot bigger. But I feel like the severity or the size of, or the weight of whatever people may be doing for you, the point is that I feel like there will be a sense of harmony when it comes to working with other people this month, and it being able to find comfort in community. The Ten of Cups, to me, it makes me think of family, it makes me think of relationships. So a lot of you could be finding people very, like, you could be feeling very connected to them. So a lot of you could literally be finding some kind of structure or happiness in relationship. The Ten of Cups also represents marriage to me, and it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage where, you know, like y'all got married or whatever, but it could also be something else where something is getting married and something is getting merged together, and perhaps this is where you are finding some kind of enjoyment, where you're able to find joy in the things that maybe you felt like were bogging you down. It makes me think of people who do influencing, and they're literally just filming their day-to-day life, so it's like they're profiting off of something that they would usually be doing anyways, you know. So it could be that there's something in your life right now that is not being, how do I say, prioritized, or there's something in your life right now that maybe you could be gaining so much more from, and I feel like in this month you will see that kind of coming through, in the sense that there was something that maybe was pretty unassuming, but it ends up being something that brings you a lot of happiness. It makes me think of a friend. You have a friend, right? And you just think, oh wow, we're just really good friends, you know, I love them, they're cool. And then, you know, you spend more time with them and you find, wow, this could be a little bit more something, and it could be something a lot more meaningful. Oh, excuse me, that was gross. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so I do have two Oracle decks, you guys. So I'm gonna shuffle these cards and then we can... Sorry, I'm still thinking about it. Okay, let me stop being immature. So I have two Oracle decks here, so we will be shuffling them and then I'll be sending you off. For you, we have Can't Be Caught. And we have the All-Knower. It definitely seems like you guys have a lot of knowledge that you possess that could be incredibly beneficial to the people around you. Also, we have body on the bottom of the deck, and I want to talk about that too. I feel like a lot of you are very knowledgeable and intelligent people, and perhaps you're the kind of person where you are perfect planning as opposed to imperfect action. And maybe in the weeks or months or even days leading up until Gemini season has been kind of this sense of, you know what you need to do, and you're very rich in the knowledge that you have, and you know what you need to do in order to succeed, but maybe putting the pen to the paper is the most difficult part. And I feel like this month, with all this masculine energy that I was talking about, I feel like you guys are taking some sort of leap of faith, or I feel like you guys are taking some kind of initiative, or if you have already been taking consistent effort in some way, shape, or form, I feel like the progress that you're making, or the process, is being expedited, or you are noticing that it is moving enough to where you notice a difference. I definitely want to say that with 2 10s here. Oh, and we also have a number 10 on this card. You could be reaching a state of completion in this month. Like I said, you're seeing something start and finishing it up. But I could also see this as previous projects or previous things that were maybe bogging you down or kind of causing some kind of stress is finally being completed. Especially if with the 3 of Pentacles, you've been waiting on external energies to show up as well. So I see this as, oh, you're waiting for an application, or you are waiting for someone to assist you, or you are waiting for something like a green flag from another person. And I definitely see you getting something of that this month or this time period, where, you know, if you apply for a job, this is you getting that news back and getting things done. If you have been trying to work with another person, this is them finally messaging you back. But whatever it might be, if you have been denied progress at the hands of other people, whether it be purposeful or whether it be on purpose or not, I feel like you are going to be noticing that this area of your life that you've been waiting on will start to see some kind of movement or some kind of progress. Can't be caught is literally just about, you know, being not able to be caught. So a lot of viewers, like, shooting stars could be significant, but I just feel like this is the vibe of a lot of you are making a lot of progress this month. And it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand it feels very exciting and it feels very fun. On the other hand, sometimes it might kind of feel like you're on this ride that you can't get off of. So that's why it's really important to take periods to get breathers if you can, even if you don't really want to, because it will help you in the long run and it will delay burnout and also allow you to be more in tune with your physical body. It makes me think of, you know, if you're running in a track team or if you're doing marching band, you need to take sips of water, even if you really don't want to, even if you don't feel like it, because when you feel dehydrated, it's too late. Water won't be able to fix in that moment because you're already dehydrated. It makes me think of, you can't make up sleep, you can't make up days that you miss at the gym. So it is a call for you to be consistent with yourself and consistent with taking care of yourself. And you will notice that when you do that, the progress that you make and the speed at which things are moving will be exponential. Okay, I'm going to pull a Moonology card before my nose produces another disgusting noise. So we have surrender to the divine full moon. So we do have a full moon in Sagittarius during Gemini season. So perhaps paying attention to where Sagittarius is in your birth chart could tell you a lot about what could be happening this month. But surrendering to the divine, it definitely makes me feel like there is a need to let some things go. it makes me think of, if you continue to do something, people will allow you to do it. So it makes me think of, like, you live with someone and you're always doing the dishes, and it's like sometimes you just need to surrender and just like leave it there, and they'll finally take care of it. And obviously that's a very petty way of coming up with an analogy for this, but I feel like there's certain things in your life that you are burdening yourself with, and I feel like for how heavy it is, you know exactly what I'm talking about from person to person watching this reading. And I feel like this is an area of your life where you need to just kind of let go and allow the universe, God, or whatever you believe in, or whatever you believe to be out there, to kind of help you and assist you in this sector of your life. That way you can conserve your energy to create and to do the things that are more important to you and actually yield you meaningful and obvious progress. But I feel like that's like a pretty self-explanatory card, in the sense that I feel like you are trying to micromanage or do way too much, instead of pulling back and kind of just letting the universe kind of assist you and just do things for you, and that things will work out even if you don't always intervene. And you might find that things work out even better when you're not trying to control everything, because maybe you're a little bit clumsy or danger prone, especially when you're stressed out or just, going through a lot. But basically, to sum up your reading, pile 1, I feel like Gemini season will be a month for you where you're able to recalibrate and reassign where your energy is going, and you'll be able to make a little bit more sense of your internal foundation, and this will begin to project into your external physical reality, where you have a better grasp of what you're trying to do, and it will inadvertently improve your relationship with the people around you, the people you work with, your own body, and honestly your connection to the universe for some of you. But this will definitely be a month of progress and seeing things get to exactly where you have been wanting to be. Anyways, that's all I have for you, pile 1. Thank you so much for watching. My nose and I are grateful. And if you would like a personal reading, like I said, you can consult me via Etsy or my email down below. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to catch you in another video. Let me know how you thought of this reading. Bye, I love you. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the green Menagerie tarot, this will be your tarot reading for Gemini season. Anyways, pile 2, my nose is super runny, and if you hear me sniffle, I just don't know why. Every time I read tarot, my nose gets runny. So bear with me, because I sniffled in pile 1 and it sounded so disgusting. And I was just like, I'm not editing that out. Like, this is who I am. This is my truth. And unfortunately, I have to live it out. And you might be like, why does it bother you so much? I don't know. I'm just self-conscious about that. Anyways, this was one of the most recent tarot decks I have bought, because I haven't been collecting tarot decks in a really long time. When it shuffles right, I will start. Okay. Alright, let's see what comes out for you. I'll shuffle it 5 times. Cards for pile 2's Gemini season. What is the energy for pile 2 for Gemini season? Okay, for you we have the Hanged Man. We have the Lovers. Funny, because the Lovers is associated with Gemini. We have the World. And we have Ace of Wands. And then on the bottom of the deck we have the Two of Swords. It definitely seems like there is some sort of decision to be made in Gemini season, because the Lovers to me represents a decision, a choice more than anything else. And then with the Two of Swords on the bottom of the deck, I find that the Two of Swords is a pretty vicious card, because I feel like when you start seeing the Two of Swords, it just follows you around everywhere you go. So if you've been watching other readings, or if you have been shuffling cards yourself, you may find that this card has been following you around a lot. Especially with the Hanged Man, I just feel like this is a very tough combination, because with the Lovers and the World card, it makes me feel like there is a big choice at hand here. Like this doesn't feel like a choice without any drawbacks or repercussions. It makes me think of, moving across the world for a job opportunity. It makes me think of, do I want to get married to this person and merge all my finances with them? Do I want to do, other critical things in my life that require sacrifice and a massive change that maybe I might not think I'm ready for? And obviously not to go off tangent, or not to say that you aren't ready for such a decision, but it's more so that I feel like Gemini season will be one of those times where a choice like that is either presented to you or required of you to make a choice on, or decide whether or not you want to make that decision right now. Especially with the Ace of Wands, because it might be something that you are doing, or it might be at your own hands. Funny because Gemini rolls hands. And it makes me think of, oh, I really want this job, but it requires me to move really far. And I'm just using job because I just feel like that's like a very easy way to, a good analogy to kind of describe what I'm saying here. But it's, my point is that there is opportunity in a decision that you're wanting to make. And it kind of seems like this month will be presenting you a sort of window to make that decision, or to come up with schemes and to really think it through. Especially because with the Hanged Man and Two of Swords on the bottom of the deck, it kind of seems like some of you are already experiencing a perspective shift. It makes me think that a lot of you have been thinking a lot recently. It might be that lately you have been feeling dissatisfied with something, and maybe you never would have thought that you would feel the way that you feel right now. It makes me think, oh, like I never thought I would like this kind of person, but now I do. And like, what do? I never really thought that I would ever go to school for this. I never really thought that I would live here. I never really thought that I would want to learn about this, And I feel like it doesn't really matter how big it might objectively be. I feel like it's just more about your own feelings and your character, and how you were changing at a deeper level, and because of that you were seeing things in a way that maybe you never really would have thought you would have. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I feel very called to tell you, Pile 2, you shouldn't resist change within yourself, and you shouldn't resist you going back on your words, your thoughts, or your belief in some way, shape, or form that causes your perspectives to shift, because ultimately you are growing as a person, and this is something that should be commended and embraced. It's funny because we also have the Hanged Man, and usually this card's associated with Pisces, and since we're talking Gemini, usually Pisces is the 10th sign from Gemini, so 10th house, career, work, reputation, and status. So a lot of you could be experiencing some kind of change in that sector of your life. But with the Ace of Wands, I feel like there's something coming to you in Gemini season that will present you an exciting opportunity or a burst of inspiration and energy. Definitely ride these waves and definitely take advantage of any moments of high bursts of energy. So it's like, if you're feeling one day, oh, I really want to make a video, do it. Or, oh, I really want to read this book, do it. Even if you don't really want to like fully commit to something, it's just about trying something and seeing how it works for you, because maybe it won't be something that you commit to in the moment, but it will be something that is on your plate and something that you're thinking about, and a door that you've opened for yourself energetically. Anyways, I'm gonna pull some more cards and see what else comes out. We also have the Knight of Cups. I love this Knight of Cups. We have the Tower. We have the Four of Cups. And the Ten of Wands. Interesting, because Pile 1 got the Ten of Wands too. Interesting enough, I feel like these cards speak more about your current energy, and I kind of just feel like you're living a little bit too much in the future, or you are too concerned with what's next as opposed to taking advantage of what's directly in front of you. And I feel like this has caused a lot of disconnect and even destruction with the Tower card in your immediate reality. And I feel like this is a call to pull back and live more in the moment for the better of you and the people around you. With the Four of Cups, Knight of Cups, and the Lover's card, a lot of you could also be dealing with a relationship with another person. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it absolutely could be. And I feel like your love life has maybe experienced or is in the midst of something, like you are experiencing this right now, a really big shift. And maybe it's causing a sense of burden or a sense of heaviness with the Ten of Wands. I could see this as a breakup. I could see this as a letting go. I could see this as a partner who lives too far away from you. Whatever it might be, I just feel like there is a disappointment or some kind of change, and it's because of or related to another person that you feel very connected to. And I feel like with the Ace of Wands, there is this call, or maybe there's this vibe of wanting to rekindle an energy when it's simply not working, and it's taking a lot more energy to keep it on its last leg as opposed to just scrapping it and moving on to the next thing. So pile 2, I feel like this is a message for those of you who are trying to grieve a relationship or decide whether or not something is really meant for you. If it's meant for you, it's something that will stay, and it is something that will make itself very obvious in how you can invest in the future of it. Because I feel like for how far-sighted you are and how capable you are of seeing into the future and how things may kind of pan out, I feel like for something that would be so meaningful, it would be very obvious what you need to do in order for it to be a part of your future. And it would naturally be reassuring. I also feel like this could be working too much or being too caught up with something. I think it's funny that we see a number 10 here, and it's the last card we pulled. So a lot of you could be working a little bit too hard, or you could be pushing yourself too hard, or you could just be energetically exhausting yourself. And I feel like the energy here is to lay back a little bit. And I feel like a lot of you should pump the brakes in some way, shape, or form, because it makes me, for some reason, it makes me think of like when you're about to run into some kind of uncertainty or danger when you're driving. You don't push the gas, you push the brakes. So when in doubt, slow down and try to look at things from a different perspective. So I have 2 oracle decks here, and I want to pull from them before I kind of send you off. So let's see what comes out for you. I try to pick an oracle deck that's a little bit funky too. Cards for pile 2. We have Pastel Sacred Symbol. And we have Your Dreams Are Closer Than You Think. Lovely card. And ooh, the One Who Needs to Control on the bottom of the deck. This card is very important. Why is the bottom of the deck with this deck so bars? But I definitely feel like with the One Who Needs to Control, combined with the Your Dreams Are Closer Than You Think and Cast Your Sacred Symbols, it makes me think of someone who is obsessive and someone who wants things to work out the way that they want them to. And this is a very unhealthy way of being, because it brews disappointment and it brews frustration and anger and I literally think of it as it's on the way. If someone is on their way to pick you up, just because you don't have their location doesn't mean, and you can't see them actually heading towards you, it doesn't mean that they are not on their way towards you. Just because the tracking isn't working for your package doesn't mean it's not on its way to you. Sometimes it do be the case. No shade, no tea. No tea, no shade. But you know what I'm saying. But my point is that whatever you're hoping for right now is on its way to you. And as long as you are true to yourself and you're authentic, it will come to you naturally. You must essentially embody the energy that you're wanting with the caster sacred symbols. So being who you want to be and being that person, even if it's, I feel like this is such a law of assumption kind of reading, but I feel like it's not, it's that, but it's also just about letting go of the unhealthy habits. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily have to be that you are being what you are hoping for, like the person. I feel like the easiest, most relatable analogy would be money, where I feel like they always say that, oh, if you want to believe that you have money, you have to assume that you have it. And obviously, I feel like that can be taken as spending, like you have the money, but there are certain habits that people who have plenty of money wouldn't participate in, and that is something that you can start with. Like, first of all, like someone wouldn't constantly be thinking about it and worrying about it, especially when there's nothing that you can really do about it. And I feel like this translates to your situation, where perhaps there are things in your life that you are turning around in your head with the Four of Cups, the Tower card. So perhaps if you have experienced some kind of massive change or shift in your life that was incredibly uncomfortable, it doesn't change for you if you think about it and if you imagine it and if you think of all the ways you could have done things differently. What's done is done, and there's no way you can control or change the past. There's only things that you can really do in the present to sort of influence your circumstances. Anyways, let's pull you a Moonology card and I can send you off. I guess you got two cards. So for you, we have New Moon in Aquarius, bring love into the situation. And your dreams need a practical plan. Full Moon in Taurus. I definitely feel like with the New Moon in Aquarius, being more eccentric and being more yourself and showing compassion and positive emotions for your situation will be better than hoping it to be something else. It makes me think because low-key Aquarius can sometimes be like the grass is greener on the other side, especially combined with Taurus, but the grass is greener wherever you choose to water it. And I feel like with Moon in Aquarius and Taurus Moon, there is an inherent stubbornness with these two energies as well. And so I feel like being a little bit more flexible and being more practical in that sense will be the way to go. And nature and survival and being the best of the best isn't always about being the most consistent, being the most strong, being the most tough. Sometimes it's about being the most adaptable and flexible. And I feel like you're very much capable of that, but I feel like you have deceived yourself, or I feel like you have caused yourself to believe that being consistent is the only way. And although being consistent really helps, I feel like the point is that leaning into your fundamental emotional foundation and the way that you operate and doing things that feels right for you and embracing yourself for who you are and what your habits are will be what ends up bringing success into your life, as opposed to adhering to rigid standards around you that will cause you to only burn out even faster. I guess my point and how I'm going to sum up this reading pile 2 is by saying that there's nothing that you're doing wrong, and there's only right things that you can do. There's nothing that you can, actually no, there's not really a right answer, but there are wrong answers. And because of that, like right now in your circumstances, there's nothing wrong about it and there's nothing bad about it. I think that right now you're just in a very transitional stage where there is an avoidance of the acknowledgement of changes that have happened in your life, or realizing that there are certain things that really need to go and something that you're needing to let go of. And it seems to be related to other people in some way, shape, or form, whether it be a literal relationship or whether it be the teachings of another person. But whatever the case might be, I feel like embracing yourself for who you are and appreciating that instead of wanting others to see that will bring you to where you're wanting to be, because it seems like everything that you want is right outside of your door, but something is keeping you from opening it, and it's time to release that and it's time to move forward. Yeah, that's all I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the reading resonated, and thank you so much for dealing with the background noise. And if you would like a personal reading, you may reach out to me via Etsy or my email down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to catch you in another video. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose the Pastel Journey Tarot, this will be your tarot reading for Gemini season, so we're just gonna get right into it. So, pardon me if you hear any background noise, because I swear my neighbors don't sleep, and I am in the city now, and I just feel like it is so loud. But anyways, let's get right into it. I've been trying to talk slow for like the ASMR effect, but I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just so impatient, and when I have a thought, I just need to get it out as quickly as possible. So bear with me as I try to take it easy. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna shuffle the deck 5 times. What's going on in Gemini season profile? What is going on in Gemini season for pile 3? Okay, to begin, we have the King of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the 5 of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, pile 3. I feel like you're a really strong person. We have the Sun. Yeah, I feel like out of... Don't tell the other piles I said this, and if you're from the other piles, you did not hear me say this. But pile 3, I feel like you're the most resilient out of all 3 piles today, because this combination of the King of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles with the 5 of Cups, I feel like your current energy right now is that you have gone through a flurry of disappointments and difficulties in your life, but it doesn't seem to really bring you down or slow you down. It just seems like you keep going full throttle ahead, and you continue to weather the storm that you are dealing with and to create your own opportunities. And I'd like to take a safe bet to say that whatever you are boasting in your life right now and whatever good things are around you are a reflection of your resilience and your hard work and your willingness to to wait around until you get your foot in the door. Especially with the Sun card, I particularly like the imagery of this Sun card because it just makes me think of better days ahead, and I so feel like that's what's happening for you in Gemini season, where you will notice that there are good things coming towards you. With the Ace of Pentacles, it might be financial opportunities or windfall or it just might be that the offerings that you receive throughout this month are genuine and they will be something that lasts a really long time. So I feel like Gemini season will be full of commitments, or it will at least be full of opportunities that will take a little bit longer to unfold, which is a bit contradictory to Gemini energy, but I feel like, I just feel like that's the vibe where I feel like a lot of you are committing to things, or some of you are seeing an opportunity despite the fact that it seems like there has been disappointments. This makes me think of getting fired from a job, but then another one lands right in your lap. This makes me think of you're not able to get the ice cream that you wanted from the store, but then they do have your favorite candy, which was your next favorite option. Or it's just kind of like things will work out in an interesting way, and then when you look at the bigger picture and look at things in retrospect, you will find that whatever was handed to you anyways was something that was a lot better for you in the long run, and it was a lot more sustainable. And with the Knight of Pentacles and King of Cups, there could also be an external energy that is wanting to prove themselves to you, and it could be regarding their feelings around stability. It might be that it's a healthy idea to go into this month wanting people to prove themselves to you, in the sense that showing up for you, being around people who actually put the action to their words, or being around people who actually stick by your side, and people who stand up for you even when you're not in the room, and talk good about your name, especially if relationships have been a sector of disappointment in your life in any way, shape, or form, or if there have been difficulties with proving yourself to the people around you. So I just kind of feel like this is a call for you to stand up for yourself and to know that your energy is valuable. And it's very obvious that you do know that your energy is valuable, but it is a lot more expensive than you realize, because of the amount of energy that you've invested into you and the times that you have stuck around to bet on yourself. And this isn't something that you should give away to people for free. And I feel like you know this, but I feel like this is something that you need to hear constantly from an external source, because I feel like in practice it is one of those things where you can really get lost. Let's pull you some more cards. We also have the Queen of Pentacles. Hold on. Sorry, low battery notification. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Devil. And we have the Hanged Man. This card has been busy today, the King of Cups and Hanged Man. But I think that the Hanged Man and the Devil card is a pretty difficult combination. I think the Devil is such a fitting card because this card's associated with Capricorn, so it could totally be that some of you have major Capricorn placements. Since we're talking about Gemini season, Gemini's Mercury, so some of you could have a Capricorn or a Pisces Mercury, but it could also be that vibe of finding some kind of consistency with the way that you're thinking and your relationship to communication, because I often find that this energy can sometimes be a little bit spacey or a little bit wishy-washy with the way that they think and the way that they verbalize and express their thoughts. The Queen of Pentacles also just makes me feel like there is something about the mother, because the Queen of Pentacles to me is about the mother, and I feel like your relationship with the mother could very well be significant, but I also feel like the Queen of Pentacles is about taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, and embracing this energy. And I feel like with this card being lined up with the King of Cups, it makes me think that through regulating your physical body, you'll be able to regulate your deeper emotions as well. And instead of just having a cup of water, have a body of water. And with the Devil card, with the Hanged Man, I also feel like there is some kind of distortion here when it comes to your relationship with your feelings and how you take care of yourself, because it might be that you assume that there is something or some way that you need to self-soothe and take care of yourself, but I feel like your version of self-care can sometimes be distorted in that you are not healing yourself, you are simply delaying something, or you are ignoring something and you are suppressing something. And I feel like this could be a bad habit for you, pile 3, but I also feel like the energy here is that you are breaking out of something very difficult and that you are breaking a very hard cycle, and it could be related to your parents. And I say that because the sun in astrology, we all know, is associated with the father and then the mother. So I feel like there could be energies and patterns that you are breaking, and they could literally be related to your family. We also have Capricorn, by the way, and Capricorn is also the father of the zodiac. So I feel like something about your ego, something about your beliefs about yourself are changing for the better, and you are no longer going to be, or there is a call to no longer operate from a place of delaying deeper feelings and maybe even seeing people in a negative light to self-soothe. And what I mean by that, I feel like there's a tendency to project or be around people who project. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that you are projecting, but perhaps you are around people who are wounded and hurt, and maybe are using this as an excuse to keep yourself in a bad environment. I feel like a lot of the energy here relies on the people that you are around, because I feel like you are an inherently sensitive person and you are easily influenced at a very deep subconscious level by the environment around you. And I feel like changing your environment will definitely be the name of the game in Gemini season. It will influence you for the better. Anyways, I'm going to shuffle 2 oracle decks that I have here. I'll try to choose some funky decks. This is the Iris Oracle. So let's see what comes out for you before I kind of wrap this reading up. Some cards for pile 3, excuse me. We have Good Things. What a lovely card. And we have the All-Knower. Pile 2 got this card as well. So maybe for some of you there could be some more messages for you in pile 2, or if you're from pile 2, hi. Oh, and we have Body. I definitely feel like all the piles are sort of connected today, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of you will watch all 3 piles. But the Good Things combined with the All-Knower, I just want to say, pile 3, you have a lot of knowledge and you have a lot of perspective now that you have been through some difficult things. And I don't mean this necessarily in a bad way. I don't mean this in like a pitying way. I feel like saying like, oh, like you've been through bad things, you know. It's like, I feel like, one, like, props to you. But I also feel like good things are coming to you because the labor that you have put into yourself and the effort to push through is something that will be handsomely rewarded. And I think it's funny that this card has apples. I feel like a lot of you have been actively fighting temptation in your life or fighting bad habits, and maybe this is why your perspective's been changing so much with the Hanged Man here, because you have literally been breaking out of some very difficult or toxic cycles that are maybe generational or imposed upon you by the people around you. And I feel like this could be letting go of addictions, letting go of substances, but letting go of other things. And I feel like a lot of you are actively choosing to, or it is a good idea to face your reality for what it is in Gemini season. And although maybe at times this will be a major disappointment or something that causes grief or fear or even anxiety, I feel like ultimately you are well equipped to deal with it and to face this truth, because it will push you to grow in the ways that maybe you have been seeing denied progress. So like, I kind of get this vibe that a lot of you have been wanting something in your life, but maybe you feel like it's blocked from you, or there is a sort of blockage. And I feel like coming back to that, or I feel like seeing your reality for what it is, will allow you to take off the rose-colored glasses and see things for how they really are. Especially because the Devil card is literally, wearing glasses. So I feel like in doing this, you'll be able to see how exactly you can get your situation together and allow it and manipulate it to better serve you. And I feel like the body card on the bottom of the deck, I definitely feel like your physical body is relevant as well. So take care of your health and take care of yourself, especially if you've been getting headaches. Anyways, let's shuffle the Moonology deck and then we can send you off. For you, we have the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. I really like this card. I feel like Gemini season won't be necessarily a month where you see major completion, but you will definitely see a surge in energy, especially with the Eight of Wands. Things will get moving along in Gemini season for you. And I feel like it is the result of you practicing more discipline in ways that work for you as opposed to other people, because I feel like you don't lack discipline in other areas of your life. Like, I feel like you're the kind of person who shows up for work on time, the person who stays by their word, does the things that they want, that they say they will. You set a goal and you will get there. But I feel like when it comes to your personal life, your deeper emotions and how you really feel and your relationship with your body, maybe at times there can be a sort of blockage or sort of difficulty. And I feel like through Gemini season, you are working through this, and whatever intentions that you set going into this season will very quickly gain energy and momentum. So pile 3, I feel like the overall message here is that going into Gemini season, make sure you set a goal for yourself and make sure you set a vision. And I think that's obvious for any season, but this one especially, because it kind of seems like you have a vast array of knowledge, or your mind is like a sponge right now, and whatever you set out to do, you will learn very quickly and absorb very quickly, and therefore you will make progress very, very fast. And it is important that you go in knowing what you want and deciding for yourself before anything even begins. That way you can get to where you want to be in the nick of time. Honor your feelings and know that the more you take care of yourself, the better you will feel, and you will realize that you are releasing something that never had anything to do with you in the first place. Anyways, that's all I have for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the reading resonated, and if it did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to consult me for a personal reading, my Etsy and email will be down below. Anyways, that's all I have for you, and I hope to see you in another video.